2-2 to Cochran. Base hit up the middle. Shellmeyer scores. Funky's throw, not in time. Nelson is home. 2-run lead for the Wildcats. Trying to strand the bases loaded. 2-2. Jackson delivers. 2-run score. Deifel waving Torres home. Bases clearing double for Jackson. Northwestern, the national seed, just defeated Louisville 7-0 in our first regional final game today. So here we go. It sets up the winner-take-all final game in Evanston. It was Louisville that defeated this Wildcats team yesterday, sent them to the elimination side. The Wildcats battled back, defeated Southern Illinois to advance to today's first game, shuts out Louisville. And so we're going to have Cardinals, Wildcats for the third time in Evanston. And with the All-American Jenny Ritter, Kevin Fitzgerald with you. We sense the Wildcats had a little more fight left in them. They shut out Louisville in game one today. Just a little north of Chicago. Welcome to Evanston, Illinois. We've needed all 7 games this weekend to determine who is headed to the Super Regional next week. No score after 1/2 inning. Earlier today, Northwestern bouncing back in a big way. The national seed shuts out Louisville, the same Cardinals team that handed Northwestern the loss yesterday to vault itself to this Sunday regional final. Danielle Watson, the winning pitcher in that 2-1 win. She faces Northwestern again today. Everything on the line.
Yeah, Danielle Watson brings high heat. She works up in that zone, but she also has a fastball that she brings in that zone for a strike, tends to go lower, tumble down into that zone. But we talked about it before. This is something, 6 walks yesterday for Danielle Watson. She needs to limit those free passes today against what seems to be a Northwestern team that's really starting to hit their stride offensively.
7 runs for the Wildcats in the opening game today. She's Jenny Ritter, the former All-American at Michigan. Kevin Fitzgerald with you. The rain has finally passed us by here in Evanston. 72 degrees, a little windy. Our last game, winner heads to the Super Regionals. And it's Morgan Nelson again hitting leadoff. Has not typically been there all season, but had a good game one.
All right, Rachel Lewis typically in that one spot. Has not been having the offensive production they like to see. Moved her down into that 9th spot to turn the lineup around to put Morgan Nelson up here. Morgan Nelson, who is one of the best eyes on the team, has shown some patience, has been able to foul off a lot of pitches that she doesn't like, and has really been able to kind of lead more from that one spot so far today.
A couple hits and a couple RBIs earlier. Two balls and 2 strikes. Louisville has never advanced to a Super Regional. It's been close so many times. And now must bounce back from the 7-0 defeat just a few minutes ago. 1 away in the first.
Just an outstanding rise by Danielle Watson. That's her bread and butter if she can get this Northwestern team to swing and miss at it.
Number 4.
This is Northwestern's starting lineup brought to you by Capital One. Maeve Nelson next up. Nikki Cochran has had a successful last couple days at the plate, but Jordan Rudd has been on base all weekend, the catcher in the cleanup slot.
Yeah, Cochran actually a really great performance in game 1 earlier today. Right, you put Jordan Rudd right after that. That 3-4 spot's going to produce so far today. They've produced all weekend. That's where you want to get in the lineup.
Maybe a play, and Chung lets it drop over the netting.
1-1.
And granted, not against Danielle Watson. Cochran 2 for 4 earlier today. And just beautiful on the base path. I think she found a way to be aggressive, find a way to get around that base path, and was really one of the runs that had scored out of the 7 for the win.
Watson's 0-2. Little tight.
Watson getting ahead of Maeve Nelson here. That's something that you got to pay attention to with this entire Louisville pitching staff, but mostly Danielle Watson. She tends to get behind a little too often, has to fight from behind. The more she can stay ahead of the batters, the better she'll be.
Now a pair of strikeouts. And up in the zone again to retire Maeve Nelson.
And Northwestern, in the discipline that they had yesterday, they did not swing at this high pitch. This, a beautiful rise ball. Danielle Watson making it jump in that strike zone. We talked about it a little bit today, that Northwestern has been a little bit more aggressive in how they've been swinging.
This one given a ride out to center. Funky, 3 out. We're done with 1.